I'm Father Federico, and I arrived here at the Church of St. Hugh in 2012. I want to share this marvelous history of this church narrated by those who built with great effort the church and school. I hope you enjoy it.
Nestled away in a quiet neighborhood by the blue waters of Biscayne Bay lies a beacon of faith, the Catholic parish of St. Hugh. Located here in Coconut Grove, this vibrant, faith-filled community with many liturgical service and outreach ministries invites parishioners to connect to their Catholic faith and put it into action. Let us now go back in time to learn a little bit of the history of the Catholic parish of St. Hugh.
Well, when my family and I moved to Coconut Grove in 1950, it was a sleepy little village. The war had ended, the Navy and Coast Guard had left Dinner Key, and if you look down Main Highway, there was an old boomtown subdivision that started in 1929 called Royal Gardens, and all the lots had been sold for $5,000 a lot, and people couldn't pay the mortgages and had been foreclosed back and forth. So in 1950, still nothing had been built. And in June of 1950, Bishop Hurley, because we were part of the St. Augustine Diocese at that time, he bought 3 lots in Royal Palm Gardens. And that was really the beginning of the concept that the Catholic Church should have a position in Coconut Grove.
The year was 1958. The new Diocese of Miami was created, and Coleman F. Carroll was appointed as the first bishop.
Finally, when Bishop Carroll became the bishop and got serious about building a building for us in Coconut Grove, the money for the land was paid for by the widow of Hugh Matheson, who owned much of Coconut Grove and a lot of Dade County.
Lagori Matheson contacted the Archbishop. She had a proposition for him. She would donate the land, which is along Main Highway, I believe, and Royal Palm Drive or something like that, and down Franklin Avenue. She would donate the land for a church if he would name the church after her husband, and his name was Hugh.
The parish was named St. Hugh of Lincoln in his honor on June 30th, 1959.
Lagori Matheson had also donated a plot of land down at the end of Franklin Avenue and Ingram Highway, where they had built a school, Catholic school. And the Catholic school was primarily for the black people of the Grove, and it was run out of Holy Redeemer Parish.
As you know, it was very difficult to find a place to worship if you didn't go in the what we call the Central Negro District, which is now called Overtown, which was St. Francis, because if you went to Little Flower, you had to sit in the back of Little Flower, and you received your sacrament after all the white parishioners had. And so it was a little difficult, and so this woman, being a good Catholic, I guess, decided, well, we don't need to have that, so I'll just build a school and a chapel.
In those days, we didn't have the church, so we would meet in the playhouse with the big plush seats, and the altar was up on the stage, and when we would have communion, the priest would come down off the stage and serve us as we came to the communion line. And no kneeling, all plush seats. You just kneeled on the front part of the chair in front of you.
Father Charles Ward, St. Hugh's founding pastor, celebrated the parish's first Mass at the Playhouse Theater and later at the Coconut Grove Elementary School. The church building drive was started with some committed laity, and parishioner Mr. Blair Wright was chosen as the architect. The church temple was dedicated in 1961 by Bishop Coleman F. Carroll.
I had just finished studies at Catholic University, and Archbishop Carroll assigned me as an associate to Father Never Ready. Anthony Neveretti was from the Basque country in Spain, a very noble-looking individual. Always reminded me of Don Quixote. And he was an absolute gentleman. Sometimes I called him Never Ready because he was always late.
He was a little bit on the modern side. He was, I don't know if I want to call him an activist of sort, but I think that's what you would call him nowadays. He was very good with the parish. We had 2 assistants with him, one being John Glory, who became a Monsignor, and the other one being Frank Lachera.
Monsignor Glory became the pastor with Father Lachara, and they were 2 dynamos.
We began to draw up a plan, and the idea was not to overwhelm the church, the building, the structure of the church. We were not to overwhelm the structure of the church, but we were to place the school building, plus a parish hall, plus parish offices, as close to the church as possible without taking away the outstanding nature of the church itself.
Basically, we formed a committee to build the school. It was me and Mike Eskra and Paul Diaz, and Father Glory hired a professional fundraiser to tell us how it should be done. At the first meeting, he said that before you start a campaign to build a school, the people that are running the campaign have to give at least 30% of the money that's going to be raised. And so I looked at Mike and Paul, and they looked at me, and we gulped and swallowed and finally said, okay, let's go.
I talked to Sister Kathleen, and I offered her the position of principal of the school. And so she came in, and I believe she probably was one of the longest serving principals in the Archdiocese.
Monsignor had been trained in West Palm Beach at St. Anne's by the Adrian Dominican community. And me being an Adrian Dominican, he wanted the same community who had taught him, because he said he owed his vocation to the Adrian Dominican sisters. 1974, I came to St. Hugh, and from there on, it was a love story.
Sister is a very special woman. You know, she was graced by God to reach out to children of all ages, of all colors, of all ethnicities, all different languages. It did not matter. She had a very special way. A firm hand, always, but the kindness and the generosity and the love that she felt and the compassion that she had for children was monumental. And she was a phenomenal educator.
Father Vaughn became pastor from 1984 through 1995. He made many changes. He built the science lab, computer lab, meditation garden, and began the Grove Outreach.
For many years, we renovated an average of 25 homes a year. By renovation, I mean, and many of the parishioners will remember it, floors and windows and doors. If we had to put ceilings.
A group of us volunteers will get together on Saturday mornings, and then we will go fix the houses. It was a group of about 10, 20 people that used to do that regularly. And then that evolved into, doing something more for the community, and the Grove Outreach began about 25, 26 years ago.
He bought the building at an auction on the courthouse steps in 1989 for $30,000. And I think there were other people that were interested in the building, but he talked them out of it.
It used to be a restaurant.
It was a restaurant.
It went out of business.
And
he picked it up.
Yeah, picked it up, and he just wanted to serve the needy in our neighborhood. They're our neighbors.
When we began the outreach, it was before Clinton's welfare to work. So many people were in need of food and assistance. At times, we had 2,000 families many in the parish will remember it, because it was difficult to put the food together and dish it out, but it worked. The people were the backbone of the parish from the beginning.
Monsignor Ron was also very good at getting parishioners who just come to church and sit in pews involved in ministries, which is what he did for us.
One of the things he was great at was getting people to volunteer and give money. He had a knack about just engaging you as though you'd already agreed to do it. And it was like you couldn't say no.
In 1996, Father George Garcia was named pastor.
Father Garcia is very spiritual, and he gave great sermons. He's a biblical scholar.
Fantastic Bible teacher. His homilies were always infused with archaeological knowledge as well as pastoral knowledge.
Both Monsignor Vaughn and Father Garcia, and most especially with the guiding force of Sister Kathleen, they believed in having a very solid faculty. And that's what made the school what it is today.
In 2012, Father Federico Captepon arrived as pastor, along with Father Damian Flanagan as the parochial vicar. Together with the leadership of the school's principal, Mary Fernandez, today's parish and school continue the academic and religious traditions of a strong and vibrant Catholic community.
Father Federico is so easy to work with, and great man, very fair, very understanding and very caring, and great to work with. We work well as a team together, so he's very, very good that way. He's not, doesn't come across as being the know-all. He seeks advice from everybody, so he's very, very good.
I call Father Federico, I call him the great communicator, because he lets people know what's happening. You know, the way that he's, the bulletin is totally redone. And the video, the audio, you know, he's really brought the parish alive in that sense, in that people really know what's happening now. And
he's a cheerleader.
He is. He's a cheerleader. It's a fun place to be.
Now it's like more dynamic, I would say. He gets everybody involved with us, a lot of enthusiasm.
He has been a blessing to us, a very, very big blessing. The school needed a little bit more of a push into the 21st century. So he was able, with his charismatic personality, he's been able to bring about some change.
We learn from those who came before. Our history is our treasure, a heritage that must be protected for the coming generations.
We are the result of all the sacrifices made by those pastors, priests, religious, and the laity. We want to thank and pray for all of them. We hope to continue to grow, to accomplish the work of God here in South Florida. May God always bless you. Thank you.